The growth of plants, the changes in weather, the existence of life, all of these have one thing in common. They depend on the sun. So, as you might have guessed, I'm going to talk about the sun. My presentation is divided into 5 parts. First, the formation of the sun. Next, how the sun affects the earth. And third, the various layers of the sun. And last, how solar energy works. I will finish my presentation with 2 quizzes, so please pay attention. But before I get started, I want to go over a few basic facts about the sun. As you all know, it is the star of the solar system, and it is the main, if not only, source of energy for Earth. Its diameter is 1.3 million kilometers long, which is equivalent to 109 Earths. Its mass is big enough to fit 300,000 Earths inside. Now that we've gone over the basic facts, let's get started. How the sun was formed. Of course, when you're talking about a planet, we should begin with its formation. The formation of the sun took place in the galaxy called the Orion Spur. Waves of energy that were traveling through space pressed together clouds of gas to form a giant molecular cloud, which is called a solar nebula. The nebula collapsed on itself because of its gravity and pulled various materials toward the center. The gravity clumped the materials together and became a burning ball of gas, which is known as a protostar. Over the next tens of millions of years, the temperature and pressures of the ball increased, and until it became the shining star we know today. How the sun affects the Earth. Of course, the most obvious effect is the changes in day and night. It is related to the Earth's revolving around its own axis. The half that gets the sun's light is day, and the half that doesn't is night. The changes in seasons and climates depend on the Earth revolving around the sun. The upper half that gets relatively more heat and light is summer, and the lower half that doesn't is winter. The calendar that we use also depends on the sun. 1 year is the time the Earth takes to revolve around the sun once. Our months, and especially our holidays, depend on it. Extremely important, isn't it? Of course, the existence of life cannot exist without the sun. The circulation of water, the growth of plants, and the appropriate atmosphere, and so much more depend on the sun. If the sun didn't exist, Earth would be just another barren planet. The structure of the sun. It has 5 layers in total. I will start with the inner layers. First, the core. The core is basically a nuclear factory. Nuclear fusion, which is the release of nuclear energy, also occurs here too. It is also the hottest layer of the sun and can rise up to 27 million degrees Fahrenheit, which is the same as 10,000 times as hot as lava. The energy made from the core travels through a zone called the radiative zone in the form of light. But this zone is so dense that even light takes 100,000 years to make its way through. If the light travels through the radiative zone, it goes through the convection zone, where it is transformed or convected into heat. Next, the outer layers. The corona is derived from the Latin word for crown. It is the hottest outer layer and can reach up to 2 million degrees Fahrenheit. This is the layer which also causes the beautiful northern lights we see on Earth because of plasma waves. The next layer is the photosphere, which means light sphere in Greek. We are most familiar with this layer because this is where visible light first appears on the sun. It can rise from 6 to 11,000 degrees Fahrenheit and is also the layer where we can see sunspots, which are randomly appearing dark spots that have a relatively lower temperature than its surroundings. Last but not least, how does solar energy work? Did you know the sun shines more than 3 trillion watts of energy down on Earth every day? That's enough to power 3 million homes for a year. Solar energy is basically harnessing the sun's energy and converting it into electricity. The light from the sun stimulates electrons on the solar panel, which produces DC electricity, or direct current. But it isn't usable yet. It has to be changed into AC in the breaker panel of your building, which is alternating current. Now it can be used to power the electric devices in your home. But if the panels produce more energy than you're using, it sends the excess energy back to the utility company, where it buys it back and uses it to power other buildings and homes. This is the end of my presentation. Do you have any questions? I'll take that as a no. Let's move on to the quizzes. The first quiz. What was one of the ways the sun affected the Earth? Noah?
Season. Different season?
Yes. Different seasons and climates, the changes in day and night, and etc. Number 2. How many layers did the sun have? Number 2? Yes. The answers are day and night, the seasons and climates, the calendar, and the existence of life. The answer to number 2 is number 2 and has 5 layers. The sun symbolizes many things: light, hope, day, and life. Without the sun, the sun is the most important reason that we can live on this planet. In other words, the sun is the reason the Earth is green. I hope this presentation was a chance to get to know a little bit more about this thankful star. Thank you for listening.